you can start.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, shalom everyone.
Hello.
My name is Stacey Marshall from Trinidad and Tobago. Today's presenter at the Spiritual, Physical, and Emotional Cleansing Training is Dr. Santy Lee. She earned her PhD in clinical psychology at a California university. She also received certificates from a College of Nutrition in Toronto. You can find her talks from numbers 11 to 25 at her YouTube channel called Messianic Healing and talks 1 to 10 at House of Israel, UK. The title of Talk 25 today is Overview of Personality Disorder. Dr. Santy Lee.
Hi, everyone. Good to see
Hello.
everyone. Hi. Yes, today is spiritual, physical, and emotional cleansing training, Talk 25 overview of personality disorder. At the same time, today is the second day of Chinese New Year. I was born as a Chinese. I celebrate Chinese New Year without Buddhist demonic tradition. So I don't believe in the year of animal. Those are the sorcery. But I still enjoy the celebration with my family and my countrymen to thank Yehovah for protection, providence. Okay. And so let's go to Talk 25 overview of personality disorder. Let's go to introduction. Okay. Developmental disorder and mood disorder, that these two topics I present earlier, they may be comorbid, that means coexist with personality disorder. That's why I want to continue with Talk 25 on personality disorder. People who have personality disorder are living amongst the general population with hidden deficit. They may be your coworker or your neighbor or even your family member. Their appearance and behavior are charming, appealing, and quite functional individuals. Their mental disturbance distinguished from affective and neurotic disorders. So they are neurotic, but not serious psychotic. That's why you cannot tell from the appearance initially, because the flexibility of emotional expression and thought demonstrates differently from the fixed distortion of a thought, perception, and reality testing. That's why Bennett find they are not psychotic and they are not schizophrenia. They are not serious mental illness because the, as it said, the flexibility of emotional expression and thought are different from the psychotic. Okay, let's go to the next slide. When you have consistent contact within a long period of time, you may start to question if this individual thinks and behaves differently, even bizarre in the person's cognition, social, career, or other areas of functioning outside the range of normal expectation. You may be surprised. This individual may unknowingly disturb you or cause you so much stress and trouble, especially in marital relationship, business relationship. Dana believes they are unaware of the affective and neurotic problems, whereas the close circle will see it. You begin to query the need of seeking psychological or legal involvement to resolve your year-long struggles. You wonder, oh, how come this person act this way or think this way? You worry about it. That's why I show these slides. Purposes of presenting on this topic, personality disorder. Increasing the awareness of characteristics of this seemingly functional group living among us. Educating people to understand them from a different professional perspective. Because if we are trained to know them, then we don't need to be too surprised. But however, sadly enough, some professionals, if they don't know them, they may misdiagnose or mistreat them. Encouraging someone to motivate the real patient who thinks everyone is wrong, everyone offends him, to receive proper assessment and treatment with great cooperative effort, maybe from you. This group of people may require additional patience, creativity, and divine wisdom. Pray for them to live with or deal with in order to protect your own mental health and also in order to help this individual. Let's look at general guideline of this kind of personality disorder. An enduring pattern of inner experience and behavior, that means a long term, that deviates markedly from one's expectations of culture. The long-term inflexible pattern is manifest to clinically significantly distress or impairment in cognition, showing emotion affectivity, interpersonal functioning, and impulse control. This impairment is reflected in social, occupational, or other areas of functioning. Yet, they appear to be normal and functional as they are not psychotic. Yes, you cannot tell if they, they have a serious mental illness because they are not. But their hidden deficits affect them. They may have weak self-awareness, insights, like some characteristic with people with ADHD, and they are not aware of, but they affect you. They affect people around them. So today, I would like to give you an overview. Then I'm going to show you the 10 specific personality disorder. The most recent copy edition of this SM only 510, but I found in previous edition they have more than 10. Okay, let's look at the 10 first. Since the categories are quite unclear at present, it is best to avoid specific labeling instead of remaining more inflexible when people do not neatly fall into categories due to diversity. So I sometimes would say this person has some group of characteristics may have this or similar to this type, but I refuse to jump into conclusion quickly. Banner does not believe personality disorder is psychotic, as I mentioned earlier. I regard this disorder as a hidden deficiency. However, they usually suffer from anxiety and depression and other emotional symptoms. If the healthcare professionals and spiritual leaders are not trained in developmental disorder, are not trained in personality disorder, they judge, misdiagnose, and mistreat this group of people as suffering from anxiety, depression, or other symptoms. See, be careful. The conditions of personality disorder do not occur exclusively during the course of schizophrenia, bipolar, or depressive disorder. So this is another opinion. Okay, so I'm going to, let's see. Okay. Let's go to, yeah, number one. Let's go to the 10th category. The following quotations of characteristics, I copy them from DSM-5, the most recent edition, 2013 edition, page 645. Number one, paranoid personality disorder is a pattern of distrust and suspiciousness. Those suspiciousness usually has no ground. The suspicious such that other motives are interpreted as malevolent. The suspicion is invalid, as I said before. Persistently holding on grudges on insults, injuries, or even slights. The signs of worry, negativity, and holding grudges, you find that they are similar to this type, overfocus type of ADHD. So there are overlap characteristics. As I said, ADHD may comorbid with some features of personality disorder. Number two type. Okay, before I go to number two type, if your spouse fall into this personality disorder, your spouse tell the world that you have infidelity. The whole world believe in him or her. How do you feel? How can they manage this situation? It causes a lot of trouble. Or in the congregation, and someone with this personality disorder can falsely accuse a man in the congregation sexually harass someone. And if this is not real, oh, this victim suffer from so much trouble. That's why it's important to understand paranoid personality disorder. Schizoid, number two, schizoid personality disorder is a pattern of detachment from social relationship and a restricted range of emotional expression. This person would rather hide himself or herself, even dislike to be among his own family member. I'm not talking about going out to socialize, okay? Number three, schizotypal personality disorder is a pattern of acute discomfort in close relationship, cognitive or perceptual distortion, and eccentricities. Okay, so this person has an intimacy problem. Okay, number four, antisocial personality disorder is a pattern of disregard for and violation of other person's rights. This is similar to the signs of ADHD when you find OPP means oppositional defiance disorder, okay. Or conduct disorder, okay. Untreated oppositional defiance disorder will lead to a conduct disorder. And all this disorder have high comorbidity, because they overlap and they can coexist. Okay, untreated ADHD or undiagnosed ADHD will potentially develop to oppositional defiance disorder and later on develop conduct disorder. The characteristics is so similar to antisocial personality disorder. This person willfully disrespect the law, the social rule, or the rule at school, the rule at family. Number 5, borderline personality disorder is a pattern of unstable relations. One day, the person say you are the best person on earth. Next day, the person say you are the worst, the terrible, the most horrible person on earth. Or today, she feel very wonderful, happy all the time. And then later on, she's so depressed. Mood swing quickly. Unstable self-image and impulsive termination of commitments. Next week is her graduation from high school. She dropped off from school and refusing to take final exam. Or she's going to engage a person. 2 weeks ago, she quit. Well, okay, I'm not talking about in normal situation. I'm talking about people, they suffer from borderline personality disorder. Okay, you look at all these characteristics under this borderline personality disorder. This is like one type of ADHD. There are 6 types, but one type of ADHD is ring of fire. Rage quickly. Or feeling irritable quickly. Number 6, histrionic personality disorder is a pattern of excessive emotionality and attention seeking. If the person lost the position of center of attention, this person feels so uncomfortable and try many ways to draw the whole world to pay attention to him or her. Number 7, narcissistic personality disorder. This is a pattern of grandiosity, need of affirmation, low empathy. You find that this person is very cool. Do you find this is the characteristic? You can find some of the ADHD may have the grandiose feature. Okay, 100% Yashua is the opposite. Number 8, avoidance personality disorder. It is a pattern of social inhibition, feelings of inadequacy, and hypersensitivity to negative evaluation. Very sensitive, extremely sensitive. People with ADHD or autism may be very sensitive to hypersensitive to people's comment and misinterpret people's comment as negative. This is one type of ADHD characteristic. Number 9, dependent personality disorder is a pattern of submissive and clinging behavior related to an excessive need to be taken care of. Okay, if you fall in love with this person, oh, you cannot leave this person. You have to stick with this person all the time. I'm not talking about children. I'm talking about adult behavior. Number 10, obsessive compulsive personality disorder. You heard this term so often, obsessive compulsion. If it becomes personality disorder, let's look at it. It is a pattern of preoccupation with orderliness, perfectionism, and control. They are like this type of ADHD. We call it, this type is called overfocus. The characteristic is such as repeated action, regardless of good or not, So you have to convince this person that, oh no, you're doing something harmful for yourself. This person won't listen to you. And keep doing it. Keep hurting himself or herself by doing certain things. Activities done in a fixed way, why change is unbearable. Okay. Let's look at another, I finished the 10 brief summary key feature of personality disorder. However, there's something related to this personality disorder. Is a personality change due to another medical condition. So the above mentioned 10 type do not fall into this group. That's why DSM-5 try to separate personality change due to another medical condition is a persistent personality disturbance that is judged to be dealt with direct physiological effects of a medical condition, such as frontal lobe seizure. Let's look at other specific personality disorder and unspecified personality disorder. As I mentioned, previous DSM have different edition, and they introduce other type of personality disorder. One would be a passive aggressive personality disorder. This is so similar to antisocial personality disorder. This disorder is a pervasive pattern of passive resistance that demands adequate performance in both social and occupational functioning. Okay, passive aggressive, that means that person is not bold enough to be oppositional to the authority in the surface, okay? This resistance is expressed through procrastination, intentional, well, say, oh, I forget to do this or something like that with the excuse of forgetfulness, stubbornness, and efficiency, particularly in response to tasks assigned by a perceived authority figure. Behaviors include obstructionism. Oh, sometimes you want the whole team finish certain tasks and reach some goals, but because of this person delay or make the whole project screw up. You find those characteristics similar to some type of ADHD or oppositional defiance disorder. I guess I have to change the spelling, ODD, not OPP. Sorry, incorrect spelling. It's supposed to be oppositional defiance disorder, ODD, / conduct disorder, CD. Multiple personality disorder is another example that the most recent edition of DSM-5 has not included, because it, the multiple personality disorder you can find in DSM-4 or other edition, but current edition called dissociative identity disorder. Disruption of identity is manifest in 2 or more distinct personality states. The different characteristics were described by DSM-3. This discontinuity in sense of self may be seen in some cultures as experience of possession. Well, sometimes you heard this person talk as a male voice, even though she's not a male, and behave as a male, and at that period of time, that person manifests a male personality disorder. And other time, this person show up as an old woman and talk and express herself as an old lady. So the DSM-5 call dissociative identity disorder. Okay, after you learn the summary of each type, the 10 type, and plus 2 more, it's time for you to do some exercise. Okay, in next talk, if Father will, I'm going to pick some of the personality disorder to explain more detailedly, investigate more detailedly, but today just give you an overview. However, I just walk through with you briefly. Then have you found that you encounter this group of people? They have hidden it deficit? Have you met them? Are they near to you? How do you feel? What are the attitude or behavior similar to the description of this talk? How did you deal with them in the past? How did you protect your mental health? Are you codependent with them? No matter yes or no, Father look after us. Okay, we'll find way to the solution. Have you thought of some creative ways to stimulate this group of people to seek professional help? Because they think that the whole world offend them, not that they have problems. Have you found the method you use workable? Are you aware even some of the weaknesses similar to the deficits? No one is perfect on earth because we are descendant of Adam. Don't be afraid to check ourselves. We have some weaknesses from inherited genetically or imitate from our caretakers, parents, or the adopted parents. We should be bold enough to admit our weaknesses and try to overcome. So we have to find out what are those weaknesses. How do you correct them? How do you improve yourself, become a better person? Last question. What have impressed you the most in this presentation? Okay, I'm going to tell you the bibliography. I draw information from these references to come up with today's talk. DSM-5, DSM-4, amends healing ADD, and the 6th type of ADD can be found from it. And also Barkley, he's very famous he's the expert of ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I was invited to travel with him to China. If so, I will be very rich and famous, but I refused because I disagree with him in using pharmacy to treat ADHD. I use nutrition, Father's way, natural way. Banners, Baker, Encyclopedia of Psychology. And then last reference will be, oh, this person, he's the editor. He's very good book. This is good for a family treatment of personality disorder. Okay, if you like to send me an offering to appreciate my work, you can use Western Union. First name Santy KL, last name Lee, country Canada. Thank you for your offering, and may Yahweh reward you greatly. Okay, so I'm going to stop share and come to you. Wonderful. I can see Brandon and Stacy and Joanna and Jasmine, Janet, Delore. Oh, where's Osman? Miss Osman. But however, I hope she'll join us later on. Okay, how do you feel after this presentation?
A better understanding of the different disorders.
Good. You
A
know,
much better understanding, yeah.
yes, that's good. Anyone want to have? If you have question, ask me. We have 7 minutes.
I don't have a,
Go ahead, Jasmine, go ahead.
okay. I was gonna say, I don't have a question, but being part of this class and this teaching specifically has helped me understand family members better. And I've dealt with a lot of these personality disorders for a really long time.
Wow.
And coming, just the knowledge that I'm getting is definitely helping me be able to grow and I guess just deal with it differently. I used to let things, hurt me or break me down, and now it's just I don't know. I just have more of an understanding, and it's just a whole nother level of, I guess, growth.
Wow. So
Helpful.
Jasmine, you learn from something. Okay. Anyone want to give me some comment?
I'd say I was on the same page as Jasmine on that one, what she was saying. Yeah, I feel very much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with my
Yeah.
family background, with all the various illnesses, and there was certainly a lot of personality disorders. And of course, I was like a sponge. I was soaking it all in. And I'm one of these people with extreme situations. I put it all around me. All
Yeah.
it does is delay your reaction. It comes out later. Yeah.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Thank you. It's good to have Joanna join us. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Hello.
Hello. So 2 people from Trinidad.
Hello, Dr. Santy, how are you?
I'm happy to have you today. So you and Stacy from Trinidad. So we have people from USA, we have people from UK, and the third country. So wonderful.
Yes, well, I came in late because normally I'm at work during the time of the meetings. But from what I took away from the last few minutes of this meeting, it was enough to help me understand things a bit more clearly when it comes to the personality disorders. And I do intend to catch up on all the previous teachings you would have done as well.
Wonderful.
Because I see the need to have this information to be able to be more aware of ourselves, but also to help others in the process.
Yes.
So I'm glad I was able to tune into a little portion. Unfortunately, I couldn't take in the entire meeting, but I appreciate what I've heard and continue the excellent work.
Yes, that's why when I upload this talk,
Mhm.
you can watch the whole thing.
All right, great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Jasmine, you said that you discovered some of your family members suffer from personality disorder.
Yes.
Okay. So how are you going to manage?
Some of the family members that I know have some of these issues don't necessarily associate with me because of the way I am. So that's not necessarily an issue for me anymore. But there is someone very close to me that has some of these disorders. And honestly, I've been keeping my focus on the Father and on I was actually just asked the other day, how do I how do I handle it the way that I do? And my response is, I know it's not true. You know, I know that that's not real. And I know that that's not what Yehovah wants of that person or from me. So I just find a way to keep the focus on the Father.
Yeah, you have to protect yourself.
Yeah, it used to be my trigger. My husband and I used to trigger each other. Like I noticed a couple years ago when we started going to therapy. Sorry, my makeup's probably running all down my face.
No.
A couple years ago when we started going separately to therapy, I started understanding that I was constantly triggering him and he was constantly triggering me. And it was just bad.
Yes.
And I know last week you were talking about you know, if there's a marriage and one of the people has, you know, certain disorders like, you know, bipolar and things like that, sometimes it's best to step away. And we actually have done that. There was a time before we moved out here that there was that separation, but we, you know, Father healed and fixed what needed healing, and we came back together, and now you know, things are good and the Father is still in the mix, but it seems like the farther that he gets from Father, in my opinion, the more the personality disorders and things start to come up again.
Oh, okay.
But the closer he is with the Father, the more that they're you know, suppressed.
Yes, yeah, we need divine healing. We need that.
Yeah,
Thank you for your courage to share with us. May we keep praying for your family.
yeah. I'm doing good though, so don't be worrying about me. Father is working.
Yes. Okay, someone
you.
want to say a final word of prayer to close this session? And I would like to start another session after this, but not recording. Okay, so someone want to close in, we only have a less than 1 minute. The log, can you close, please?
Sure. Abba, in the name of Yeshua, we give you praise, honor, and glory. Father, we thank you for this opportunity to learn. There are so many different personalities that we all have, and we must not judge one another because that's not our opportunity. That's not our calling, but our calling is to pray for one another. So we just thank you for this session, that we will be able to grow and to understand and to continue to watch over each other and to pray for one another and our loved ones. In Yeshua's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
Yes. Okay. Wonderful to see everyone, and maybe